Coming up on this episode of WJMH Reports, Marshall County hosted a fun science event for young local girls. We'll take you there.
Next, a local park got the community in the spooky mood with a fun after-dark event.
Finally, the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce hosted an annual event that brought the community together to share some major accomplishments.
All that and more coming up now on this episode of WJMH Reports.
Welcome to this edition of WJMH Reports. I'm Audrey Ferguson.
And I'm Emma Straight.
One Marshall County Schools employee was recently recognized at the state level. Here's WJMH reporter Abby Korngiver with our top story.
Center McMecken and Glendale Elementary School's librarian Nicole McCauley was recently announced the 2025 Service Personnel of the Year. McCauley has been working for Marshall County Schools for almost 2 years now. She began working as a substitute before getting a full-time position as a preschool autism aide at Center McMecken. After Christmas break of last year, she began working at Glendale and Center McMecken as their librarian. Inclusion is very important to McCauley. She makes sure every student she has an equal ability to learn and grow their imagination.
Inspiring them, and their imagination just grows. When you provide kids with books and give them the opportunity to grow their imagination and see their excitement, that's really the best part.
McCauley goes out of her way to organize monthly service projects that help teach the children to appreciate the way they can impact their community. Center McMecken principal Erica Holt says McCauley is such an asset to not only the school but the community as well.
She's a person that just makes things happen. If there is a project or something that the school has an idea about, she just takes it and runs with it and just makes things happen.
McCauley also constantly looks for new and creative ways to use interactive technology and different reading resources to engage her students. Marshall County Schools is lucky to have dedicated service personnel throughout the district. Reporting from Center McMecken Elementary School, I'm Abby with WJMH Reports.
Thanks, Abby. McCauley officially steps into her role January 1st, where she'll have the opportunity to work with students all across the state.
John Marshall High School helps students in need in many ways. Pause for a Cause is one of the many resources the high school provides. Science teacher at John Marshall and co-advisor of Pause for a Cause, Christina Gary, helps collect and distribute supplies for the organization.
We provide toiletries, paper, pens, pencils, anything that the kids need. We also help provide Christmas presents for kids.
The organization is always accepting donations, preferably shampoo, conditioner, body sprays, leggings, sweatpants, and shorts. Donations can be turned into the main office or Gary's room in 309. You are able to donate via their wish list on Amazon.com. The link is posted on the JMHS Pause for a Cause Facebook page.
Marshall County Schools has partnered with WVU Medicine to ask the people of Marshall County about their health needs. Please use the QR code shown to complete the survey. You may skip over any question that you do not wish to answer. The survey is completely anonymous, as your answers will not be connected to you in any way. Marshall County Superintendent Shelby Haynes thinks it's important that the community takes this survey because it can help to fulfill the needs of the county's citizens.
And basically, they're asking people in the community what resources they need. Do they have access to housing, childcare? What kind of medical needs do they have that aren't being filled right now?
Survey results will be used to help guide Reynolds Memorial Hospital health programs and to address the health concerns of the community.
Recently, the Marshall County School District hosted its third annual Girls in STEM Day at John Marshall High School's gymnasium. WJMH reporter Morgan Carlin attended the event and has some more information.
Over 140 fifth grade girls from all around Marshall County came to John Marshall to learn all about the many types of STEM programs. The event included some hands-on activities such as flying drones, creating a lava bottle, making slime, and coding. The robotics team also demonstrated a game on their course with their competition robots. John Marshall Sr. Lainey Anderson believes this kind of event is very important to young girls who might want to go into a STEM field when they are older.
It shows them that they can go to any field when they're older, learn new things. Like we have the robotics over there. They just get to have fun with each other, work together.
STEM is a very male-dominated field with only 35% of it made up of females compared to 65% made up of males. This day of female empowerment and education served to inspire young girls and get them excited about pursuing a hobby or even career in a science field. Marshall County Schools Adult Education and CTE Services Coordinator Heather McCord agrees that women aren't very well represented in STEM and hopes to reverse this.
Sometimes it's an area where ladies aren't involved a lot, and this gives them a chance to get a taste of science and see that they can do it and get excited about being involved.
Girls in STEM Day has been a success since year one and plans to be held for years to come. This is a very fun and educational day for the many young girls attending. Reporting from the John Marshall High School Gymnasium, I'm Morgan Carlin with WJMH Reports.
Thanks, Morgan. The John Marshall CTE programs hold lots of other fun activities in addition to this. Stay tuned with WJMH Reports as we will continue to bring you the information about any upcoming events.
After the break, we'll recap some fun Halloween events and preview others that will take place in the coming weeks.
WJMH Reports will return after this short break.
You're watching a WJMH Media production. We're an entirely student-run broadcasting program based out of John Marshall High School, whose goal is to connect, entertain, and inform. Along with many John Marshall High School productions, WJMH Media has also worked with WTRF, the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra, Augusta Levy Learning Center, OVAC, West Liberty University, and the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. You can follow us on Facebook, X, and YouTube at WJMH Media.
We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Audrey Ferguson.
And I'm Emma Straight.
Looking for a Halloween event in mid-October? On Wednesday, October 23rd, the Highland Sports Complex is hosting its 4th annual Halloween Spooktacular, where the whole family can have fun. The event will have plenty for parents and children alike to be involved in. There will be trick-or-treating, food, music, costume contests, a coloring table for the young ones, and much more. The food and beverage manager at the Highland Sports Complex, Kyle Trank, loves the event as it brings everyone together at the sports complex and helps local businesses.
We have a lot of vendors signed up that are businesses around the Highland Sports Complex here, so it's a way for there to show them their business off.
The Spooktacular not only helps bring the community together in a fun way, but it also helps a local nonprofit financially.
All the proceeds go to United Way. It's like trick or treat for the kids. They come in, we have vendors set up that pass out candy from there.
Tickets for the Spooktacular are $10 per person, which includes a hot dog, soda, and $5 arcade card. The Spooktacular will take place on Wednesday, October 23rd from 5 to 8 p.m. To register, visit highlandsports.com/spooktacular. Again, that is highlandsports.com/spooktacular.
The Roberts Ridge Volunteer Fire Department recently hosted Second Haunted Trail. After a successful inaugural event in 2023, the VFD went even bigger this season. The event featured a 2-line burn barrel trail along with tables and events set up inside the firehouse for kids to get candy, food, and just relax. Captain Zachary Rodak believes this event is great for interaction within the community.
It just gives us exposure to the community, lets them see us, lets us see them, gets us interacting. Also gets it open for anybody that wants to come out and volunteer.
The event will take place one more weekend this fall on Saturday, October 19th.
Are you interested in a Halloween-themed basketball camp? John Marshall High School is hosting Halloween Hoops Girls Basketball Camp. This is for girls in grades 3 through 7. It will be held at the John Marshall Gym October 27th and 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. On October 30th, it will be held at the JM Fieldhouse from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be a $40 registration fee, and you will receive a t-shirt when you arrive. To register for the camp, you can scan the QR code on your screen. When you scan the QR code, it will open a form for you to fill out. Make sure you answer all the questions that are listed and hit submit when you're fully finished.
Grandview Park always has something fun and festive going on, and October 12th was no different. The park hosted Fall Glow Mini Golf to get the community excited for Halloween. The event started at dusk and lasted all the way up to 10 p.m. The park lit up all the obstacles with LED lights and handed out light-up golf balls. It was also decorated with a lot of spooky Halloween decor. Grandview Recreation Program Coordinator Trishelle Riggle loves having these events because it gives the community something fun to do with the family and friends, and it also brings in new people.
I think just seeing all the new faces and people that have never been up to the park, but they just saw this online somewhere, so they decided to come up for the first time. So just meeting new people that come up for them.
Granby will be hosting this spooky event again on October 26th.
The Strand Theater is holding a raffle for a Halloween-themed quilt. The quilt is handcrafted by Strand Technical Director Meta Lash and is 4.5 by 5 feet. Tickets can be purchased from now through October 26th at Frame and Fortunes and at October Strand events. Tickets are $2 each or 6 for $10. The raffle winner will be announced live on the Strand Theater's Facebook page on October 26th.
Halloween is nearly here, which means it's almost time for trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treat will take place on Halloween, October 31st, and some local times include 6:30 to 7:30 in Wheeling, 5:30 to 6:30 in Benwood, and 6 to 7:30 in McMecken, Glendale, and Moundsville. Be sure to be safe trick-or-treating this year, checking candy before eating, and keeping an eye on young children. If you plan on handing out candy this Halloween, make sure to have your porch light on so trick-or-treaters can find you.
Coming up, last week we talked to John Marshall counselors on how to prep for college. This week, WJMH reporter Angelina Hott will sit down with a West Liberty University representative for more information from the college perspective.
WJMH Reports will return after this break.
I'm thankful I survived this crash, but I'm scared I may never get my life back.
This was not your fault. You should get legal help.
For my accident, I got GKT.
I agree. Get GKT.
Welcome back. I'm Angelina Hott. College tours and applications are in full swing. Joining me now is West Liberty University Assistant of Directors of Admissions, Zachary Rhodes. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you been the Assistant Director of Admissions, and what are some of your roles?
Yeah, so I've been the Assistant Director for about a year now. I've been back on West Liberty's campus. I think this is my 4th year, so I was Admissions Counselor and now Assistant Director. The main roles is obviously recruiting, so I go out to local high schools mainly right now to talk with students, kind of walk them through the admissions process, and that's what I always say the admissions staff's kind of main role is to make that jump from wherever you're coming from, whether you're coming from high school, graduating and going to college, or if you go somewhere else and transfer to West Liberty, our role is to make your move to wherever you're coming from as smooth as possible, walking you through the process, kind of explaining what you need to do, seeing if there's anything that you're missing, and then just kind of helping you through the other parts too, right? So there's the admissions process, but then once you decide that, then you have housing, financial aid, and I'm not the expert on those things, but I know who to connect with you with to kind of go through those.
All right. Why are the campus tours important?
Yeah, so when you're talking to me, right, I can tell you all the great things about West Liberty. You can see, beautiful shots of campus and see it kind of from the outside looking in, but until you're on campus and you walk around and you see what being a student's like, you take a peek into some classrooms and see, what those class sizes are, you interact with some professors and everything, that's really where you start to understand, okay, this is the right environment for me, right? So typically on any campus tour that you're going to see campus. We like to try to get you to talk with people too. So whether that's a current student and you can ask them questions that you probably aren't going to ask me and everything to say, okay, you're a student currently at West Liberty, tell me about this, and they can give you that inside perspective there. Then we also try to get you to meet with your professors. So if if you know exactly what major that you want to major in, you can talk to them and see, okay, what's my daily life going to look like? If you're between a couple of majors, you can talk to maybe 1 or 2 different professors and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Why would I be a good fit for this? And then go talk to the other professor and do those same things. And it really helps you start narrowing down what you want to do in college and the environment that you're sort of looking for. Especially with us being a local school, it's important to go on an official tour, right? A lot of people in the area have been on campus before and they've maybe hung out a little bit in one part of campus, whether they've been up for a class visit or just hanging out with friends, but getting up there and seeing the full campus, getting that full experience is really the best way to determine what the right environment is for you.
Alrighty. What kind of tours do you offer and what are those benefits?
Yeah, so the 2 main ones are individual tours, and then kind of group visit, open house is what most people typically think of. So individual tours, you are typically by yourself. There might be one other family there if we happen to have a couple of booked, but we try to keep them as individual as possible, and you'll be with one of our student ambassadors. So that's where I say, you're walking around with a current student. You as the student can ask them questions, your family members can ask them questions and really get what it's like, the perspective of being a current student. They take you around campus and kind of show you all of the general areas so that you can at least get an overview. And then, like I said, we do try to set up a meeting with a professor in the major that you told us that you're interested in. And they usually can spend anywhere from a few minutes with you to some of our majors spend a really big amount of time with our students, walking them through the entire process of being that major. So that's the individual visits. At the very end, you can meet with myself for admissions, financial aid if you have any questions, and then you're on your way. The other one is we call them Black and Gold Days. So we just had one this past Saturday. We'll have one next month as well. So those are, like I said, more like open houses where we have multiple families on campus at one time. You'll come in, we'll do a quick overview of campus, saying, okay, here's how many students we have, here's some of our majors, here's the highlights, and then kind of a similar thing, we send you out on tour with one of our students. So they'll take you around, they'll show you campus. That one's kind of nice because you're with other people, you're with other families, so they might ask questions that you weren't thinking of or that you maybe were afraid to ask. You're thinking, oh, no one asked that question, and then someone else asks it. And then at the very end, we have what's called our academic and campus life fair. So you come back from tour, you kind of meet back up with everyone, and then we have everyone from across campus set up. So we have professors from most of our majors represented, and then we have staff from around campus too. So you can go up and talk to a couple of different professors, you can go ask housing a question, you can go ask athletics a question, just to get a full scope, and then you get lunch or dinner depending on the time. So that's everyone's always favorite part before you leave campus.
What are some admissions requirements to apply to West Lib?
Sure. So the main process is to just go onto our website and submit your application. You'll just create a quick login and then submit your application. Our application process, we try to keep it as straightforward as possible for our students coming in. So you'll fill it out and then you'll just send us your transcripts for that. So you usually start that process hopefully early on in your senior year. I know a lot of students kind of push it off a little bit, and then you send us your transcripts, and then we process your application. We have some curricular requirements that we do require, your maths, your Englishes, those sorts of things. But we try to work with students. If you're, missing a foreign language, we'll let you know that and say, okay, we can still accept you, but you have to make this up. So the process, the requirements are very straightforward.
What are some unique programs that the university offers?
Sure. So our newest program is our aviation program. So we're training students to become pilots. It just started this past year. This year is our first cohort of students. The interesting thing there is you're flying in your first semester, which always scares everyone whenever we tell them that. But it's obviously we make sure that they're ready. So they'll be up in the air. It's out of Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. We partner with Marshall University, but it's nice because you're 10 minutes away from campus and you get that hands-on experience and everything. A couple of the other ones, our zoo science program is always talked about just because of animals on campus, and it's a unique program not only just in the area but across the country. And then I always go back to our really strong majors, our dental hygiene, our education, a lot of our sciences, a lot of our media and arts. I always talk about our media and arts because we're a smaller campus, but if you compare our theater programs, our art programs, our visual communication programs to anyone else, you'll see that we're very competitive and that our students are really set up to succeed once they either go into graduate school or into the workforce. And a lot of that comes from the way that our professors interact with our students across all of our majors, right? So a lot of times you'll go and you'll have your classes and you'll get maybe some hands-on experience later in your senior year or into grad school. There's so many of our majors that you're getting hands-on experience early on within your first couple of years. And that really sets you up to succeed. So I think that we have some unique majors, but that process there really makes all of our majors unique.
All right. How and where can students work on the campus?
Yeah, so we have jobs all across campus, a couple of different ways to go about it. So there is work study, which is based on your financial aid. So I'll do a quick plug to complete your FAFSA for seniors that opens December 1st. So that can go to various offices across campus where you're just, you're either working as an office assistant or helping out in different areas. And then we have just on-campus jobs that's not needs-based. So a good example is our student ambassadors who give our tours. They apply, they submit an application, and then they are hired and work throughout the week giving tours and helping with other admissions events. But pretty much every office, every department, athletics, or dining services, all of those areas on campus have some student employment with them.
And what is your biggest piece of advice for those looking to apply?
Yeah, so do it early, right? The application process before you start it, before you go through it, can seem a little daunting, right? Because you have all these colleges that are saying, please, please apply to us, and you have all this paperwork to do. But in reality, the application part is one of the simplest things that you can do in terms of your college kind of process there, right? Because then you have to start thinking of financial aid and housing and moving into campus, those sorts of things. But if you get your applications in early, get accepted, and then when it's springtime of your senior year, okay, I have these 5 schools that I can go to if I want to, which one's the best fit for me? And that's really the best way to do it. It takes a little bit of stress off yourself and kind of making that decision because you've already done the hard work. You just need to choose at that point. So start early, talk to admissions people. Every school that you look at is going to have a team of admissions people that's ready to help you through the process. I promise no question that you've asked is one that I've not heard of before. So even if it's, my favorite question or my favorite email to get from students is when they're like, sorry for all the questions, and then there's a list of like 10 questions, because then I can walk through them and I know that they're actually trying and I can point them in the right direction.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
If you are looking to enroll at West Liberty University, you can visit westliberty.edu to schedule a tour, apply, or see a list of majors. Again, that website is westliberty.edu. Lastly, we'd like to thank West Liberty Assistant Professor of Digital Media Design, Jared Thompson, for the video and pictures of West Liberty. Coming up after the break, a relaxing opportunity for people who like art is hosted at the Schrader Center in Oglebay Park. Stay tuned for that and more on WJMH Reports. The public is invited to use the track and field at Monarch Stadium every Sunday from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. Monarch Stadium Community Night continues through the end of October. No pets are permitted.
Welcome back. We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Audrey Ferguson.
And I'm Emma Strait.
Joining us for sports and entertainment is WJMH anchor Angelina Hott.
Thanks, Audrey and Emma. Each year, the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce hosts its annual dinner in October. WJMH reporter Paige Galloway has more on this year's event and more.
The 2024 Chamber of Commerce held its annual dinner at the Moundsville Center inside of the walls of the former West Virginia Penitentiary. Patrons at this event were invited to have dinner while listening to various speakers speak on the great things happening in Marshall County. Marshall County Schools Superintendent Dr. Shelby Haynes was in attendance to recognize MCS Teacher of the Year Abby Edman and MCS in West Virginia Service Personnel of the Year Nicole McCulley. Several awards were handed out throughout the evening, including the Lifetime Achievement Award for Business, which was awarded to Sleep in Moundsville and was accepted by General Manager Johnny Grubler. Former administrator of the Marshall County Health Department, the late Tom Cook, was remembered as the Dr. David Ely Community Service Award, was presented in his memory and accepted by his wife, Cindy. Marshall County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Scott Regert enjoys this event because it's a time for everyone to enjoy each other's company.
It's nice to have everybody under one roof. We don't have the school system. We have businesses here. We have local governments, the hospital, everybody coming together just to celebrate Marshall County and some of the accomplishments that we've had.
West Virginia Senator Shelley Moore Capito was also invited to speak at the event. She shared about her childhood in Marshall County, along with future plans for West Virginia and the significance of the upcoming election. Moore Capito's focus is on creating a place where youth want to be.
I think jobs, education is critical to West Virginia, developing our tourism industry. We see that here in the Northern Panhandle, and then advanced manufacturing. We see that also here. I just think that creating an environment where young people want to stay in West Virginia is absolutely critical.
WTOV 9's Jamie Baker served as MC of the event. The dinner was a great time for Marshall County citizens. Reporting from the Moundsville Center, I'm Paige Galloway for WJMH Reports.
Thank you, Paige. One of the next big events for Marshall County Chamber of Commerce is the Christmas Parade, which is coming up next month. If you can't attend the event, be sure to watch on WJMH Media's live broadcast on our YouTube page. The John Marshall TSA and FFA are hosting a fall craft fair. This event will be held at JM on November 9th, 2024 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be food, crafts, local products, and lots of fun and smiles. The entry is free for all shoppers. FFA Chapter President Taylor Sippen says that working this event helps both TSA and FFA members grow closer together.
Because we're all there from bright and early in the morning to dark at night, putting everything together, taking everything down. And then not only that, but the members are also help getting to know the vendors, helping them set up their crafts and set up and taking down their stuff.
If you'd like to sign up to be a vendor, you must fill out an application, have a valid West Virginia business license, and pay a fee starting at $35. You can find the application at johnmarshallcte.org/craft-fair. Again, that's johnmarshallcte.org/craft-fair. Looking for a fun, artsy activity? Stop by the Samara Shop at the Schrader Center, where you can paint your own pottery. Pottery will be available to purchase up to an hour before closing time during regular operating hours. Prices range from $10 to $35 depending on the piece. After purchasing your pottery, sit down and paint it or glaze it however you would like. Pottery must be left overnight to be fired and can be picked up for the following day. The Honor Guard is an organization that exists only due to donations. Every year it provides numbers of services to assist the families of fallen veterans in both Ohio and Marshall counties. On Saturday, November 9th, from 5 to 8 p.m., the Moundsville Veterans Honor Guard will host a benefit steak fry at the American Legion Post 3, which is located at 800 1st Street in Moundsville. This benefit will support all the local veterans in our community and will help the group provide every veteran with support throughout their difficult times. Contributions are essential in making this benefit a success, so any donations toward them are greatly appreciated.
Thanks, Angie.
Coming up after this break, we'll recognize this week's JM Staff Member of the Week.
Stay tuned for that and this week's Week in Pictures coming up after the break.
You're watching a WJMH Media production. We're an entirely student-run broadcasting program based out of John Marshall High School, whose goal is to connect, entertain, and inform. Along with many John Marshall High School productions, WJMH Media has also worked with WTRF, the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra, Augusta Levy Learning Center, OVAC, West Liberty University, and the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. You can follow us on Facebook, X, and YouTube at WJMH Media.
We've got more news now on WJMH Reports. I'm Audrey Ferguson.
And I'm Emma Strait.
This week, for our staff recognition segment, we'll be featuring Charles Bursey. Bursey has taught at John Marshall for 6 years. He teaches history and he sets his students up for success.
I have students come back to me. I've had several who have joined the service, gone off to college, or have done great things in the workforce, and I always love seeing that.
He has been serving in the United States Navy for 19 years and is still serving in both active and reserves. We would like to say thank you to Charles Bursey for his dedication to John Marshall and for his willingness to participate in our third Staff Member of the Week segment.
Now let's take a look at this week's In Pictures brought to you by WJMH photography students.
Thank you to the WJMH photography students for this week's Weekend Picks.
It's so cool to see nature in such a great light.
It really is. The top story was also my favorite this week. Make sure to watch our next episode, that way you can see what the next top story of the week is.
We would like to thank our wonderful viewers for tuning in for this week of our show.
We are also thankful for WLU-TV and Xfinity for airing WJMH reports.
We'll be back next week with more stories from around the community, right here on WLU-TV. For Emma, Angie, and everyone here at WJMH Media, I'm Audrey Ferguson. Thanks for watching and have a great day.